So I'm reaching, but I must admit it often comes to mind that bad men do grant mercy to their victims from time to time. Maybe it's the power of holding one's life in your hands, and with pity granting a just reprieve. Still, I will be damned. I'll be damned if I admire a man who tries to play me like he's God. I'd rather incur his wrath than the reality sets in like fog, like a hazy mist so thick you can't see 3 feet in front, and ask yourself with terror, is this really what I want? So it's a reality that there's many men who hold lives in their hands, meting out justice and judgments far and wide across the lands. Should I respect the tyrant's steady gaze as he lays his eyes on me, metes out a justice I can't justify without respecting him for me? So many find degradation entertaining, worth a dime, paying hard-earned coin to witness some innocent's demise. Or maybe they take pleasure once having been convinced that the victim must deserve it. Truly, what makes these people tick? Are we really all so consumed with negatives that we expect to witness pure horror as a justice for disrespect? Are our egos all so precious that when we witness sin and pain, it reminds us we are faultless because it's not us? Are we that vain? I simply see abuse as validation of beliefs. Those that mete it out seek the victim to feel defeat, when in reality even the torturer cannot reasonably justify. He would do all within his power to escape the same damn lie. That fable we are told where the answer to a wrong is to abuse the pupil into correct behaviour to belong to a cell or sect or group where it seems identity is based upon abuse inflicted meant to make one take heed. It's basically about the reward centres in the brain. We repeat behaviours we're rewarded for or try our best to refrain from behaviours that lead to punishment, whether physical or trite. You'd do as you're told if the punishment was being hungry every night. And it seems this is what makes us feel alive, watching another be deprived or victimised, until we feel some sense of affinity for a victim and their abusive reality. I learned myself to be pleasant as being rude was a crime. Then I grew up and tested boundaries as I was able to describe that the pleasantries being expected were all about ego and pride. Nobody's apologising to me, so I can falsely apologise. As long as I'm feeding the ego of the one who seeks my harm, it's quite easy to manipulate a man, in turn disarm. Sure, he could realise I'm condescendingly giving him his way, but all he really seeks is someone to do exactly as he says. You don't actually have to believe a nary word that you repeat, which means that the oppressor can never actually defeat. He is pleased with false flattery and condescending praise. As long as his ego is being stroked, his pride will leave him in a daze. Sure, he'll punish you, but never believe that it's actually deserved. Maybe he'll have you parrot back to him all these devilish, disgusting words. But as long as you know you're just doing your utmost to survive, trust me, he is dependent on you, or you'd have your just desire. The fact is that one man's justice is another man's loss, because there's always someone with an ego who thinks unless he's playing God, that he's missing out or losing, like his self-worth is based upon how many are beneath him, how many he can lead along. You're not stupid or worthless or hopeless just because he chooses to abuse. You're actually a validation of his weakness. That's the truth. He's nobody without a victim, no one unless he metes out pain. He's not powerful without a victim, so I'll think about this again, because it's quite likely that the tyrant took pity on poor me. I can't think of any other reason why most days I feel free. Maybe he's just waiting, stalking me like prey. But should I really hope for mercy, be sensible instead of brave? I'm merely human, I'm not invincible, nobody really is. Some of us are having our egos stroked, thinking we're the bigs, but we're all really just as vulnerable as the squealing pigs. So maybe I'll thank my enemy for the mercy that he gives.